Chapter 2, Replacement, Lypye's Perspective. I heard a knock on the door while I was in the middle of unpacking my posters. Running over to the front door, I opened it to see my sister, Syara, disguised as Jane Muley, standing in the entrance. She was wearing a vertically striped sundress with the stripes alternating between the colors blue, white, yellow, and orange, and blue dress shoes. "Hey, come on in," I offered. "Thank you." She walked in and began pacing in the living room. I closed the door and crossed my arms, watching her. "What do you want to ask me?" I asked. She took a deep breath and looked at me. "Come on patrol with us." "What?" I stared at her, surprised. "No, I've made a life for myself here on Karth. I've settled down. The team pays you to watch over Jasmine," she pointed out. "You and I both know I would look over her regardless. I took the money to pay my half of the rent." She put both of her hands around my right hand. "You are a god of Karth. Not only that, patrol is at night, and you are the goddess of darkness. We need you." I walked over, then sat crisscrossed on the arm of the couch. "After 5 years, I come out of hiding to help you on patrol?" I smirked. "Who's Malin?" She sighed. "Hyena. He had a last-minute training session pop up." I stayed quiet for a while. "What would Mom say if she found out I was with you?" "She will not find out. If she does, I will explain the truth. You gave up evil and agreed to protect a special mortal." I got up and walked over to my room. Syara followed me. "Syara, I agreed to live like a mortal, to be there for Jasmine." She grabbed my wrist. "Please, Lypye. I know that please does not work with you, but you are strong. We want you to be the Syara Team's backup. You do not necessarily have to help us all the time, but you can fill in if one of us cannot be there." I had started going through a box while she was talking, and I pulled out some of my old god outfits. Syara convinced the maker of god clothes to make me a few more outfits so I could change my look and show everyone that I've changed and I'm good now. I stared at the black crop top I pulled out, feeling uncertain. "I don't know how much the mortals will act with me back," I mumbled. "Since when have you ever cared about what the mortals think?" she asked. I gripped the black crop top, the one that fully exposed my midriff, and sighed, grabbing some black leather pants. "Give me a few minutes." I closed the door and looked at myself in the mirror. I am a goddess, but I tried to shut that out to avoid any reason for them to try and pin me on any evil. I changed into the outfit, then looked back into the mirror. I took my hair out of my high ponytail, then brushed my hair, still staring in the mirror. I applied the black eyeliner to my eyes, then took a deep breath, walking back out of the bathroom. "You ready?" she asked me. "Almost. I need to call Jasmine. I should let her know I'm not going to be home tonight." I stepped aside and looked at my phone, hitting the call button next to Jazz's name. She should be out of class by now. I heard a faint "hello" from the other end. "Hey, it's Lypye," I sighed. "I'm just calling to let you know that I'm not going to be home for the rest of the day. Hyena bailed on the Syara Team, so I'm going to help with patrol tonight." "Alright," she responded. "I have my key on me. Good luck tonight." "Thanks."
Chapter 3, Accident, Hyena's Perspective. I was so nervous for class to end. Jasmine was the last cat human I wanted to help me with my calculus homework, but the teacher told me asking her for help would be my best shot at passing her class. Jasmine's a really nice girl, but I knew that she had a crush on my disguised self, Raphael Ramon. If Lypye is home and Jasmine brings me there, I know for a fact she is going to kill me. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I explained what was going on. Class had ended 10 minutes ago, but I was waiting on Jasmine outside of the school. She told me she had to take a phone call, so I was trying to patiently wait for her. The sound of footsteps knocked me out of my thoughts. I turned around to see Jasmine running up to me.
"Sorry,"
she breathed.
"That was Sarah."
"Did you tell her I was coming over?" I asked. She paused for a moment and I felt fear creep up on me.
"No. She's going out with a few friends and won't be home for the rest of the night. She doesn't know won't hurt anyone."
I narrowed my eyes in suspicion, knowing that that was only half true. My guess is that Juwaria asked her to join patrol. She's been trying to push Pantheria and I at least to show Lypye how patrol works. She really wants Lypye on the Syara team, but I, at least, if not Pantheria as well, don't fully trust her.
Ahem.
I heard Jasmine's. I snapped myself out of my thoughts again, listening back in.
Shall we?
Jasmine unpacked the door to her place and let me walk past her before shutting the door. The living room was a mess, but not as bad as I expected. Some boxes were untouched, others were open. There were empty boxes thrown in the corner of the room and a stack near the hallway. All the boxes in the hallway had Jasmine's name on it. Jasmine walked over and moved all the boxes off of the couch, putting them in front of the couch for a temporary table. She sat down on the couch and patted a spot next to her, telling me to sit down. Nervously, I sat down next to Jasmine, opening my bag and pulling out my homework. Jasmine was clearly shaking as she began looking over my homework.
This is easy enough.
I looked at her curiously. She was tracing her hand around one of the math problems, probably doing it in her head before explaining. She reached into her bag and pulled out a pencil. Quickly, she went to bring her hand up, but accidentally hit it on a box in front of her hand, causing her to knock the pencil out of her hand. The pencil rolled over to my feet. I bent down to grab it, but Jasmine reached over at the same time and our hands touched. She and I looked up at each other, our faces inches away from each other. We stayed like that for a while. My heart started racing, my nervousness growing. I could physically hear her heart racing, her face turning red. I snapped my gaze away and quickly gave her a pencil, then sat up and looked at my homework. Let's go over one of the problems, I said, trying to clear my head. She shook her head, trying to focus.
Right.
She began explaining one of the problems to me. She masked it well, but I've developed the skill to know whenever someone was lying to me. I could tell she was trying to pretend she didn't feel completely awkward, and I felt guilty for making her feel that way. I began doing the next problem on my own, trying to follow what she showed me without losing concentration. She smiled and cheered when I finished.
You did it!
She exclaimed. I chuckled at her enthusiasm. Thanks. It's all you, though. You're the brains.
Give yourself some credit. I only showed you one problem and you immediately understood what I meant.
She grabbed my hand.
You don't suck at math. You just needed some one-on-one help to understand.
I looked down.
Wait, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Everyone learns differently. Like me. I learn more by being shown. I retain very little when someone just explains something without showing me.
I looked back up at her soft blue stare. I know she has a crush on me and doesn't want me to hate her, but she knew the right words to say. I stared at her curiously as I began to see her in a new light. She had a beautiful sparkle in her eyes and an amazing personality. Obviously, she had her flaws. She had a short temper and could be very ditzy at times. I took a few deep breaths as she looked away from me and back down at my homework. Jasmine? I started.
Yeah?
She stumbled, not looking at me. At this point, I didn't know what I was doing. She was beautiful, sweet, and caring. I was reeled in, but I really wish to this day I wasn't. My actions from this point forward caused Jasmine a lot of trouble that I constantly regret. I grabbed her chin and turned her head towards me, kissing her. She tensed up and kissed me back. I knew I shouldn't be kissing her. My parents banned any relationships between a god and a mortal. I've never really had a reason to ask why. I think what I regret most was not coming out and telling her I was really Hyena Syara. As far as she was aware, I was an old friend from high school. All of my senses came back to me as I realized what I did. Pulling away quickly, I put my homework in my bag, closed the bag, then swung it on my back, quickly getting up and walking to the door. I shouldn't have come here. I felt her grab my wrist.
I'm sorry. All I wanted to do was help you pass calculus. This was never my intention.
I ripped my wrist away out of her grip, then turned around and grabbed both of her upper arms. Don't you dare think this was your fault. I let go and looked down. It's just... I sighed, not finishing my sentence. How could I tell her the prince of the god world just accidentally kissed her?
Just go.
She mumbled.
It's gotten too awkward.
But
Go! Just go!
she screamed. I quickly ran out of the door, feeling extremely bad for hurting her.